Hey, what's up, Chatty? What's good, Rashad? What's up, everybody? What's up, Rich?
Yo, what's good?
What's up? How you doing? You out put it vertical.
Oh shit. We good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let me take this off the charger. All right, we straight.
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
I'm chilling. I had a good day of trading, so I'm all, I'm pumped up right now.
Hey, I bet you did. What you end up trading today?
I was trading what is that, GameStop? So I had long-term stock in GameStop back in like April, March, April, and so I finally I looked at it obviously the other day when
Mm.
it like rose up, but then I was looking at it today and I was like, whoo! So I had to sell some of that because I knew that shit was coming down. So
Yo, I didn't even know it hit 70. That's the craziest short squeeze I've ever seen. What's up,
yeah,
Mike?
that
What's up, boy
that
Wonder?
thing is it's ridiculous. It's like this market is
Yeah.
insane and it's making so many people so much money. And it's like if you just know how to if you just be patient with certain things,
Look,
you can come out good.
I got scared. So I was following this one cat, right? This one cat, he does like lottos, option lottos, basically where
Yeah.
you kind of like you get in it close to the end of the expiration. So he was like, "Yo, I'm calling GameStop $50 right now." After Citron Research had said that they were shorting, they were like, "Yeah, we about to short GameStop." He was like, I'm about to put a call right now for $50." I hopped in with him yesterday. I didn't realize that it was Thursday. So I thought it was Wednesday. So I'm like, man, ain't no way this jump about to hit. I had a call for $44 expiring today. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, I don't think it's gonna hit. Let me just save my money. Like I had made like $30 real fast, but I was like, let me just save my money and like just close it out, right? Saw it today. I'm like, yo, this shit at $50. Then it was at 70. I'm like, oh my goodness. I was like, I would have turned $100 into 3,000 in a day.
You should have seen my face. I was looking at that shit and then once it hit 60 something, I was like, all right, I'm gonna just offload some shares. And after that, it was good. But then I saw it go up to 72 and I was like, oh, but I knew I knew the crash was coming. So I was like, I'm not tripping. I had it in since like $6. So I was like, I ain't even about to, I
Yeah,
ain't about to
I
worry
didn't
about
think it was gonna do that. I'm like, yo, this junk went crazy. I saw it at 50, and then my friend called me. He was like, yo, GameStop at 70. I said, what you mean it's 70? I was like, that's the
it.
craziest short squeeze I ever seen. But everybody
Right.
had the same play. Everybody's like, oh, I'm about to short GameStop. I'm about to short GameStop. I'm like,
Yep.
this junk about to squeeze again. That's how I got up to 30 in the first place.
Hey, who that? Hey, Madhu, I use what's oh shit. I'm sorry. I'm my mind all over the place. Madhu said I must be using Zion beard care. It's not. It is oh shit. Hold on. Let me find her Twitter. It's right off the top of my tongue. I just can't think
Her
of
name
it.
is like Triana or something like that.
Yes, I use Triana hair stuff. So I've been using that for a while, and she actually. So I went out of town last week, and she actually shipped me some stuff overnight because I buy from her all the time,
Mm.
and so I love her stuff.
Yeah, see, Madu, he's supposed to send you the kit, and he never sent it to
Madhu,
you. He got the
Madhu was
beard
supposed to
care.
send me a
He gonna
kid.
be
He was
sending
supposed
out
to
the
send me.
kits. You know, don't be showing no love. But yeah,
He
let me
shows
actually give you like a proper introduction now that people are in here.
cool,
We
cool.
just was talking about GameStop. But yeah, welcome back to Finance Fridays. I have Rich here today, and we're gonna be talking about precious metals and just stock investing in general, and like everything that Rich is doing when it comes to stock investing. So thank you for joining again. If you have not purchased my financial literacy book yet, Financial Starter Kit, go get that. 5,000 copies sold so far, best selling on Amazon. So definitely check that out. But yeah, Rich, can you give us like an introduction of who you are? I know you take pictures, you killing it on Pinterest, you killing it with the precious metals and stocks now.
Yeah, so my name is Rich. My brand, like my main brand is Rich Point of View. I started out as a photographer, then I got into marketing because nobody was seeing my shit. So I had to pretty much do everything on my own. So then I got into SEO and web design. And from there, I think just the maturation process where it's like, okay, I'm getting all this money from these different avenues. How do I work smarter, not harder? How do I make my
Mhm.
money work for me? And so that's when, like, I think I started investing 2016 from stocks and cryptocurrency.
Mhm.
And then I started trading 2018, almost 19. And then like now I trade a lot more just because, as you start, playing around in the stock market, you start gaining more resources, you start learning more. And
Right.
so what I did, once I started chart reading, it was game over. Before then, I was just like, oh, I believe in the stock. I'm going to invest in it long term. We'll see what happens. But now it's like, okay, how do I get short term money in the stock market? Once I
Right.
started learning chart reading, and all this other stuff, it was just like, okay, I'm going like I'm diving full fledged in now. So yeah, I kind of do a mix of all those things at the moment, and it's just like I feel like all of it is an extension of myself. And then I got into actually owning precious metals um, earlier last year from B when B was like, "Yo, buy silver." I was like,
Mhm.
"Why the hell are we buying silver? Like for what?" So like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, so you see, he's so knowledgeable about a lot of different things. So I hit him. I was like, why are we doing like, what's the point of buying silver? And
Right.
he put me on game, and I was like, all right. And then so after that, I did my due diligence, started learning everything I could, and yeah, we here now.
So tell me about silver. Like why silver? What did you learn when you when you did your research? Like why did you start investing in silver?
Yeah. So with silver, so the four main precious metals that people invest in throughout time has been gold, silver, palladium, and platinum.
What about copper? I know
Copper,
that a lot
yeah,
of
I
people like
mean,
to steal copper.
people like to steal copper, but it's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with a bar of copper? Like, where am I selling that at? You know what I mean? Like, and that's funny because copper is actually going up like crazy, like at
Mm,
a rapid pace. But
mm,
it's like, I'm not about to own physical copper
right.
because who the hell I'm
Like
going to sell that
what you
to?
gonna do with it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna just sit on it and be a walk-in lick. So it's like, no, I'm cool. Like,
Like,
you know what I mean?
this man, he got hella copper in the crib.
You know what I
So if
mean?
people
Like,
don't know, copper is used in a lot of like in home building, right? Like in the pipes
mhm.
and all that stuff, they use copper. So people will steal the copper and they'll go sell it. Like it's real easy to get off like on the streets just selling copper to different people who build houses or they might be in construction or something like that.
See, if I was down south, I would do that. But like up here, I live in New York. It's like
Yeah.
I'm not about to be walking around like, yo, I got this copper on deck. Like, what's good? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
man, get the hell out of here. So yeah,
Oh, now
so
do you say AC too? They use copper and AC. Oh, they
yeah,
took his AC
true.
unit. They got you. Caught lagging.
Hey man, that man ain't get his house finished yet. I don't know.
We ain't gonna talk.
We ain't gonna talk.
His
Oh
house
shit,
about to
that's
be
funny.
done. We about to pop bottles at Mad Dude house. So we ain't gonna get too into that. But yeah,
That's funny.
so don't you invest in silver coins too, right? So like,
Yeah,
how
so
do you figure out which silver coins you want to invest in, or what gold coins you want to invest in?
all right, so everything I found was through Investopedia and just watching YouTube videos.
Mm,
So I started out with the bars, and then I was like, I see coins like American Eagles and stuff like that. You see the Buffalo rounds as far as silver goes, but then you see all like the bars. You got the 1 ounce, 10 ounce, 100 ounce. You got kilos. You got 1,000 ounce. Stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, if I'm once I started doing my research of like why people are buying silver, how do you unload silver? What is the purpose of just going through my whole thing? I
mm,
started out with my stack of bars. I started there because when you want to go offload metals, they're paying you in weight. So
mm.
the more weight you got, the more obviously the more money you got, but
Right.
also the more you buy at the more you buy at one time, the less taxes and premium there is.
Right,
So
right.
you're getting more in the long run instead of buying like, oh, I'm gonna buy an ounce here, an ounce there.
Right, they
Why
be
don't you buy?
taxing you. People don't realize it's like a wide range. You're like, yeah, the more
Yep,
you buy, the cheaper it is. But
the
the
cheaper
less
it
you
is.
buy, it's more fees and everything. Like
Yeah.
it
So
just don't make sense unless you about to at least buy a good amount at one time.
exactly. And so what I started doing was I would buy 100 ounces at a time. Just the bars, started building stacks up, and then I was like, well, I've never seen all these, so I was like, let me buy the kilo, let me buy the bigger ones just to see what they look like, just to say
Right,
I got it. But then once I got there, I was like, oh shit, where am I about to store this? Because I'm not about
right.
to
This
keep
shit
this.
heavy. It's big.
And so you start getting like JM Bullion and Atmex, the two places that I buy from generally. They have different avenues of like where you can store it at. You can store it at banks. You can store it. I mean, I said pan. You can store it at banks. You can dig a hole in your yard and put it in a safe and just forget about it. You know what I mean? But
So what do you think about what do you think about people who end up like storing their coin and stuff at the banks? Because I've seen a lot of research on it. Like people don't know those safe deposit box, they get hit up all the time. Like people steal from them. You're really not insured. Like me personally, I feel like any metals you get, anything like that, any solid assets, precious metals, I feel like you should keep it with you in your own personal like safe. What you think?
yes, I agree, and you shouldn't talk about it either.
Right. You shouldn't talk about
That's
how
what a
much
lot
you
of people.
got. Like when it
Yeah.
comes to crypto and gold and silver, all your precious metals, don't ever just be like, yeah, I got like 5 or 10 silver gold bar or silver bars or gold bars, stuff like that. I got 3 Bitcoins. Like you are a lick. You're a target. Don't talk about how much you got. Like it's different when you talk about stocks. Like nobody about to come get you about your stocks. Really, people they're not gonna really come get you for your money in your bank account, but like when you're talking physical stuff like gold and silver and Bitcoin, where somebody can come and like rob you at gunpoint and say, "Hey, give me your shit." That's two
Hmm.
different things.
That's a different animal right there. And I see, we live in this day and age where everybody just want to flex online, and you make yourself targets. And
Hmm.
so for myself, like some of the coins that I do have, I'll show them, but it's just one coin. You're not sitting
Right.
there, you're not
I'm not
sitting
about
there
to show
thinking
you the
like,
whole stash.
yeah, like what the fuck I look like? Nah, you ain't about to try to run up in my shit. Like, nah. So I don't keep it here for whoever's watching. It is not here. It is in a place that I can have access to. But yeah, like yeah, I'm not about to sit there and just show people, you know, like how I have certain things. Like even when you watch on YouTube, there's a lot of people who talk about precious metals. They never show their face, like at all, and it's
Yeah.
understandable because
They
if
they
you sit there,
completely like anonymous with
yeah,
it. That's how it was when I got into crypto. Like, bro, when 2017 crypto started jumping, it was crazy. People were getting robbed left and right. So I already knew. I'm like, I was already anonymous. And then I was like, all right, well, I'm going to stay anonymous because I don't want nobody trying to like steal my crypto or anything like that, try to figure out where I'm at. Even though I was overseas, it's still a big risk. Like,
it's
it's
still a
better
big
to
risk.
just like stay low key with all of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, like for me, when I first got into crypto, this was
Madu said you
2015.
capping. I don't know about what. He said cap. I don't know.
Who said that?
Madu.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about. He funny. Um, what was I about to say? When I first got into crypto, I remember I was at the YouTube workspace down in Chelsea,
Mm,
and two of my boys was there, and I got this alert from buying what was it, Coinbase. I guess it was like, yo, you sign up, you get $10 worth of Bitcoin. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, what am I
yeah.
walking into? They're like, yo, buy this. This is the future. This, that, and the
Mm,
third. And then this is around the time like I remember it was like Litecoin was $20, and then Bitcoin was like around $1,000,
yep.
thousand almost twelve
I
hundred.
never forget that stuff. I never
Yeah.
forget that.
And so I was sitting there, I was like, do we tell people? And they was like, nah, you gotta keep that shit to yourself. And I was like, why? And then they started putting me on game like, nah, bro, this is like some life changing shit where it could boom to God knows where. And if people know you got X amount of Bitcoin, Litecoin, they
They
might try to
looking for
rob
you.
your ass. Like,
Yeah,
and I
they
was like,
they
oh,
gonna
all
try
right,
to rob
cool.
you. They gonna run up in your crib and they gonna come to you armed and tell you like, yo, give me your keys, transfer over everything. And the thing about Bitcoin and stuff, once it's done, it's done. You're not getting that back. Like
Nah.
you're not going to get it back. Like you might be able to try to sue them, and but if you don't know who the people are, you're definitely not getting it back. So if just some random armed robbers come up in your crib, you're not getting that bread back at
Hey,
all.
hold on. Who does this? What is it? Gavin? Gavinci 35 dogs. Don't be pumping doggy coin. Get the fuck out. Get
Oh,
out of here with that
Dogecoin.
bullshit.
Yeah. That's like that's just it's really just a pump and dump. Like anytime Dogecoin pumps, it usually signals that the Bitcoin, like that the crypto bull market is back. That's usually what it means.
Hmm.
Bull market is back. It's the beginning of the bull market. So I think we got a while to go because Doge it pumped like crazy.
They gonna pump it and then they gonna have a whole bunch of bag holders after that. People getting into it late. I'm like, bro, the
Same
history
with
repeats
Ripple.
itself with that. Yeah,
Same with
exactly.
Ripple. How many people are Ripple bag holders? You can. This is safe space. Let us know. Like I keep telling y'all, like stop chasing those altcoins because the thing about crypto is a lot of this stuff really not long term investments. Outside of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, and maybe like a few altcoins like Chainlink and I don't know, but like Chainlink, maybe Tezos, like it's not many that are really going to be around long term. Like from 2017 to now, I would say 95% of those coins are dead and they're never coming back. And people kept telling
Never
me, like,
coming
yeah,
back.
they won't come back, they won't come back. Bro, I got a coin that I'm still holding that at one point it was $30. That mug is 40 cents today.
God.
30, yeah, it's like 40 cents. Right, like I lost so much money on that, and I'm still holding on to it because I'm like, at this point, I might as well just hold on to it. Maybe one day it's a chance it could go up. Like, yeah, DeFi tokens are going crazy, but it's just to me, in my opinion, it's like the ICO craze, ETH like 2.0. Like it's just the second phase of that. Like it's always going to be people trying to make money. Like what people don't realize about crypto, most of it is just people trying to make money. That's why I'm like reading white papers and doing all that. It's all BS. Like most of that stuff is not going to be around, and they aren't doing what they say they're going to do.
Nah, that's a fact. And to double back on that, like all you really need is the three main ones, especially Ethereum. Ethereum, you need the gas fees, so that
Mm-hmm.
should be like your number. Like that should be on your top tier. But everything else is they're trading that. I'm not sitting around trading cryptocurrency
Crypto,
all day
bro,
because
that is so
you ain't got
volatile.
no
Mm-hmm.
stop losses. You ain't got you know what I mean. Like you got to be sitting there watching charts all day. I ain't got time for that shit. Nah, if you about that life, by all means go into it, but that ain't for me. I got other shit to be doing. I ain't about to be sitting there trading crypto all day. I'm
Yeah, man.
cool.
Like people, you gotta realize like it's different. It's different. But when it comes to, like I said, long term investments, you can do Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin safely. Like I don't
Hmm.
see those top three. Those are the top dogs. Bitcoin is the standard. You can think of Bitcoin as like the Federal Reserve of crypto. It's what everything is based off of, and it's not pegged to it, but it's based off of it. So you can see that as kind of like the standard in those top three. You can invest in them in those, and long term, you should be okay. Um, but like when it comes to buying gold, silver, stuff like that too, when people typically buy those precious metals, they're doing it because it's a hedge against the dollar. So the dollar loses value, and Bitcoin typically goes up, and silver, gold, all of those metals they typically go up too. But on top of that, these metals are being worth more because of the electric vehicle space. So Tesla, they need to use like silver. They need to use rare earth metals. So like all of this development and infrastructure that needs to be created, and just the manufacturing of these electric vehicle cars and the companies, all that kind of stuff, like it's metal involved in that. So the precious metals and everything, like anything around, I would say like the EV space is gonna boom. Like whatever they need is gonna go up over the next 5, 10 years, guaranteed.
That's a that's a fact because so there's analysts out there. There's people like thinking silver's gonna hit triple digits in the near future,
What?
like
Where's it at
$100.
right now?
It's at 25. I
Mm,
started buying metals around 14 and 16.
mm-hmm.
So I'm already, up in a
Yeah,
major
you
way.
up.
So if that shit get there, can't tell me nothing. Shit.
Right, right. Yeah, man.
But yeah,
They've
like
been
the
calling for
use
silver to
case,
go up for a break.
Yeah, the use cases are going up. Before it was just like it was used in photography, can't
Hmm.
like it was used in medical devices, stuff like that. But like now, like you said, that EV market, a lot of charging stations are going to need silver.
Silver. Yep. Electric
Tesla last year was
vehicles.
looking Tesla last year was looking for nickel. So
Hmm.
that plays into a part of okay, I might not own that physical property, but I can invest into it.
Yeah.
Find the mining companies, you
Hmm.
find the ETFs, you find all that. Some of them pay dividends and quarterly, and it's like even if you don't want to hold the actual physical metals, because yeah, like you got to start thinking about storage. You got to start thinking like it's a lot that goes
It's
into
a
it.
lot.
You can,
Yeah.
you can also invest in it too, though.
So,
You know what I
so
mean?
when you say like mining companies, what do you mean by that? And the ETFs, just so you can explain it to the people who aren't familiar what the mining companies and ETFs are.
Got it. So with the mining companies, there's companies that mine precious metals. Um, so Tesla, I forgot what I was in last year. I was playing it for a while, and it actually worked. Let me see if I can find it. But it was a mining company that was almost tied into Tesla,
Hmm.
and they were mining nickel because Elon was like, "Yo, I need more nickel for my batteries and this, that, and the third. Like, I
Right.
need that stuff." And so people were investing into certain nickel companies because they were like, "Oh, they're going to go up if they have ties to Tesla.
Hmm.
I might not own nickel, but I'm going to still get paid off of it." Same thing with ETFs. Just like um, you have iShares Trust. You have there's like gold ETFs, silver ETFs. There's platinum ETFs.
Yeah.
All these where you don't actually have to own the physical metal, but you can still be invested into precious metals through
Right. So
those
these ETFs,
stock.
they own the metals, right? Typically, or they
Mhm.
invest in the gold derivatives that they have, right?
Exactly.
Metal derivatives. And same thing with like there was a the ETF that went crazy, that iShares renewable energy or clean energy ETF. That thing
Yep.
went crazy. It's up over 100%. And basically that ETF they own like Tesla, Plug, all of those different kind of stocks that were in the EV space. So, ETFs are a good way for you to be able to just invest in one thing, one index fund or ETF basically, and those shares that you buy basically makes you invest in whatever it is that they're holding. So when you do the research on these ETFs and index funds, they tell you exactly what they're holding. So you just go to holdings and it
Hmm.
says like, okay, we're holding XYZ and this is the percentage of each that we're holding. So self-made baller, you asked how do you purchase silver and gold directly?
You can go to atmex.com. You have jmbullion.com. You got sdbullion.com. Those are the three that I recommend. I'm sure there's countless others out there, but those are the main three that I go for just because. Um, okay, so like if I'm buying American minted metals, I'm surfing around just because Atmex and JM Bullion, they tax on those
Mm.
just because they're like the bigger companies. Makes sense, I get it, but you could find them cheaper at other places. Or you can go to your local coin shop. I think that's a thing that a lot of people
Think about.
don't think about is have because when you're selling, you're either selling to the places you bought them from, or you're going to local coin shops. There's local coin shops in every city. Go in there, ask questions. More than likely, they'll be happy to help you. As far as like, hey, like they'll get information in real time instead of you just sitting there trying to read it up on yourself. Have those relationships. They'll let you know when stuff is in. Like if you're looking for a particular coin, once you get like once you get to a point where you stop, like, I wouldn't say stop investing in it, but like stop buying actual precious metals for the purpose of just holding it. And if you want to start getting into like collecting and stuff like that, those are a lot of good people to talk to because they know where to find. They have different relationships like that you wouldn't even think of, um, to where you can get your hands on some very low mintage things that you want to add to your collection, or if you want to try to resell in the future. You know, it's a whole the precious metals game is a whole. It's just all over the place as far as like it's different players in it, it's different ways to get money in it. But it's a cool community. Since I've been a part of it, I've been a part of a couple of what's the thing called? like forums and stuff where you just meet random people who just talk about it and things they do like that. And it's a lot of cool people out there that collect and just very have a lot of information
So when
regarding this
you
stuff.
so when you collect like these coins and stuff, how long do you plan on holding them? And how do you figure out like kind of what coins you want to collect? Do you like just do your research on YouTube, or like how do you figure out which ones you want to collect, and how long do you typically plan to hold them?
All right, so whenever I buy metals, I plan on holding them long term. That could be 5 years, 10 years. I might pass them down to my kids. I don't
Mm,
know. This depends on when stuff goes on. As far as collecting stuff, when I do buy certain coins that I like personally, it's sometimes I'll more than likely if I can, I'll buy two at a time. I plan on if I'm collecting, I'm holding that. I'll pass that on to my kids, like type of stuff like that. And if I have the extra, I'll sell that just because I know there might be a market for it in the long term future. Because I've watched plenty of like YouTube videos and like what's that show called Pawn Stars, where like people were going on in there with like
pawning old
stuff from
stuff,
like
yeah.
pawning like stuff from like there's coins that are like worth millions of dollars that you would never know. You
Yeah,
know,
you
it's stuff
can't
like
find
that.
them
Where you can,
anymore because, and that's the thing about it. It's like limited runs of like valuable assets or stuff like that. Same thing with Pokemon cards and stuff. You're not going to be able to find, but you can only find but so many like rare Charizard cards that are like graded for Gem 10. Like they're perfectly graded. They're perfect cards. Like you're not going to be able to find them. So the value goes up. The more rare something
Mhm.
becomes, typically the more it goes up, especially if it's a collectible. So that is like that's kind of how just that's just regular supply and demand for real, for real. Like, all right,
Exactly.
people want
And
this, but there's not many of them, so the price just keeps going up.
so that's like what I know on the internet. Those World War II coins that came out recently, like a couple months ago,
Yeah, yeah,
where
I
you have the
flipped them.
gold and the silver. Yeah, but a lot of people flipped them. But if you were like, the reason they were such a high commodity because you only had a certain number amount of those, and they're never minting those again.
Right.
Like,
And the people that's going to hold on to them, they really going to eat in the long run. The people who
yep.
hold on to it long term. So you can flip coins too. So they drop coins on usmint.gov, and you can go to that website, and when they're dropping like limited coins, you typically can flip them. But like you just got to know what's going to actually flip. Like everything's not going to be a good flip because sometimes they drop stuff and it don't do anything. So
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, so when I look to flip something, first of all, has this been minted before? Is this a first edition, second edition type thing, or what's the mintage like? Is the mintage low? Like, I look for things like that when I'm
mhm.
getting into like collecting or trying to resell something because A, 9 times out of 10 they're not going to make it again, and then
Yeah,
B, I just got to see like I just got to see, you search around the internet and just see what it's worth to other people. Because if you're minting a coin that's like they only made 20,000, and you think of all the people in this world, you're like, okay, this coin will probably never come out again. Let me go ahead and cop one or two of these, sit on it for a minute, or I can just once I get it, I can just sell it. Depends on how I'm feeling. But it's just one of those things like you just got to carefully know. Like I said, first and second editions. Um, like the pandas, a lot of people got into the pandas. The reason the pandas are valuable are because they never have the same coin throughout the years. I think the only time they did that was like 2001, 2002.
mhm.
After that, everything there's a different panda on each
On
coin,
each
like
coin.
and they only make a certain number amount of those these days. And plus, they're legal tender in China, so you can
Right.
go there with them and you can go there and spend them
And
like how
spin
you
them.
would,
Yeah, that's what I was
anything
telling
else.
people. Like, it's similar to because like a lot of people, like you got people invested in these metals and stuff, and a lot of people didn't even know they were actual money. Like,
Yep.
so you can when you looking at the coins, like it will tell you if it actually has actual value. Like, so some of these silver coins in the states, it'll say like it's a dollar coin or it's a $5 coin. Shit, some of the
Hmm.
gold coins be $25. So it's like
Yep.
one of these coins is worth $25. You can actually spend it. And same thing with those pandas. Those are, I think they're 10 yuan coins. I think so. I believe they're 10 yuan. So it's like if you went to spend it in China, it's worth 10 yuans. Like, so it's actual value behind these coins. Like, it's actual money. But some of them aren't
Exactly.
money. Some of them are just, they call them metals. like
Yep.
MEDALS, not metal. Like, so some of them are just like metals and they aren't worth any money. And typically the metals don't go for as much as the actual coins with actual value that are actual currency. So
No, that's the thing about it. And for people who are just starting out, I tell people this all the time. Start with your sovereign nation. Get American coins only at first,
uh,
because when you go to sell them, like they're looking at it, like I said, just for the metal. And so, like, say if I went somewhere and I had um some Mexican minted coins, they might sell here for a nice, I might get my money back or I might
mhm.
get a little more. But the reason a lot of these, especially if you go to coin shops, a lot of these places don't want to pay the taxes and the premium on those coins because not a lot of people are going in there looking for said coin. You see what I'm saying?
A Mexican coin
So
in the U.S.
yeah, like it doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
So when you start doing that, like I tell people all the time, start with your sovereign nation. So U.S. minted coins only. You got American Eagles, you got Buffalo Rounds, and then you have the bars. Start with that for your stack, and then diversify after that. So then you can get into like the Canadian coins, the Maple Leafs, which are they're dope coins, but it's like I might have to go unload those in
In
Canada and something
Canada,
like that to truly get my money back. Or the Mexican libertards, I might have to go to Mexico to like
really
really
get
get
my
those
money.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what I
that-
mean?
that's
So
definitely a lot. So people got to be aware of those things. So let's like get into stocks. A couple people had questions about you were saying that like when you first got into stocks, you were first just doing your research, but once you started charting stocks, you were able to actually make more money. So can you explain like what charting is when it comes to stocks?
pretty much looking at it. So I'm bad at explaining things because my mind works like on some beautiful mind type shit. So I
Mhm.
know what I've been doing, but it's hard to. So I mean, you're literally just looking at chart patterns at a on
I'll just say
on a
trading
certain
view.
stock.
Yeah, so but the thing is this, right? So a lot of people they're really confused because on Robinhood, it's a line chart and it don't give you that much information. It don't tell you nothing really. Like it's
Yeah.
just kind of like a line chart and you gotta, scroll your finger across. So to really see what these charts look like, I recommend you either go to TradingView is probably like the easiest way because it's free. You can just get on there and start looking at like these charts for for these companies. So like let's say you wanted to look at Tesla, you can go on a trading view and look at Tesla or look at Apple. You can look at anything, ETFs, the different derivatives for the precious metals, index funds, all that kind of stuff. You can chart these things. So when you're looking at the charts, it's the price action. It's a chart that shows the prices of the stock or index fund, whatever it is. That's really what it is when you're charting. But like,
And
do you
and
have the
also
strategy of what you look for on the charts?
it's also patterns too. So
Yeah,
like you'll see patterns on the bars that are indicators of, oh, this chart is about, I mean, this stock is about to go down, the stock
yeah.
may go up. Like there's a bullish sign, there's a wedge. Like it's so many different things where you're just like I can look at something and be like, I'm following it. Okay, it's about to do this. Let me wait. Or, oh, I'm following this. I see it's in a bullish pendant. Let me go ahead and invest. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just certain things where once you learn that and start, and because a lot of people trade blindly.
Hmm.
I'm sure you know this too. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people like, oh, I heard such and such is about to go up. Let me just invest in this. Like, bro, you trying to get in a wreck. Like, you
Right.
ain't trying to do all that. Like, I don't want
Just
you to do that.
blindly
Like,
just buying and selling stuff. You gotta understand what you're doing. So when you were saying like bullpenning and stuff like that, like how did you learn about the different patterns? Did you go do research on certain websites? Because a lot of people they aren't familiar with what the patterns are and stuff.
let me find it for you right now. Keep talking, and I'm about to find it for you right now. Because I actually put this in something else. Hold on.
Yeah, so when I first started learning how to chart and stuff like that, you can literally Google chart patterns and a bunch of different images will come up. But like I like using babypips.com and Baby Pips has like a full course for free that you're able to go to and you can go through this course and you can learn all about like charting patterns, support and resistance, It teaches you all of that kind of stuff. Like, and I think it has some stuff about the different, like how to read volume and price action on baby pips. Like, it's a good way to just learn about charting. But honestly, a lot of people, when you're first starting out with stocks, it's better for you to just kind of like learn the fundamentals and see what's going on and just kind of like study and either use a little bit of money, or you can make a paper trading account on WeBull, or you can make a paper trading account on Thinkorswim, which is owned by TD Ameritrade. So you're not out here just losing your money trying to learn what you're doing.
So yeah, so I just put the what I use in there. It's called centralcharts.com, and it
Mm-hmm.
literally gives you different chart patterns that you can look there, study. And like you said, another thing that paper trading definitely helps where um, you can essentially play a stock from the past, the future. Like, you know what I mean? Like it gives you that linear that time to actually learn the patterns of what happened to a certain stock at a certain time. Also, you said paper trading. There's one more. Oh, fuck. Sorry, my mind
It's
just went
okay.
blank.
I wanna say something too. So like when you were saying you can go back and see, like, so a feature on TradingView is you can actually replay what happened with a stock. So like you can hit the replay button and you can start it from a certain time. So you can watch how a stock was moving from like the past day, past week, whatever. Like, so that's a feature on TradingView, and I believe it's free. So TradingView is very
Mhm.
powerful to just kind of like figure out what's going on because you can see everything that's happening, and it lets you just like replay so you can study, and really to become better as a trader and just a stock investor in general. You got to be in it. You can't be saying like, yeah, I want to get into stocks, but all you do is like look and see what people are talking about on the timeline, or you look and just try to see what people are getting into, and you just buying when people say like, oh yeah, I'm looking at this. So you got to really be in it. So I sent out an email about this. Like, you got to follow people who are trading, who are investing in stocks, just like staying in the know, like staying in the loop. You just can't be like, oh yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. Yeah, it's not gonna work. It's like a skill. You have to actually work at it.
Yeah, for sure. And once you and what changed my trading, like I said, was learning chart patterns because before I would get tickets from people and I would play them, and sometimes they work out. Most of the time they worked out, but if I didn't have patience, then I'd be like, oh fuck this shit. Like, man, I'm getting out. It dropped down 1%, and a
Yeah,
lot of people
yeah,
do that. And it's like, no, I'm actually in bet. Like, once you start doing that, and you like, because now I just play a chart. I look at a chart. I'll go on stockcharts.com or I'll go on central charts and I'll look at the chart and I'll be like, okay, this is where it's at. This is where it potentially could be through catalysts or whatever else. And it's like, okay, I'm going to play it until it hits my my target.
right,
And so that made me a lot better. And also journaling. That's a lot of things. That's the one thing that I don't think a lot of people do is
right,
actually journaling. They trade. They just trade, and just, okay, I'm going to sit in this for a while, see what happens. But it's like, do you know why the chart, I mean, do you know why the stock went up? Do you know why it went down? Do you know what's coming for the future? Do you know, like, there's a lot of different variables that go into actually investing and trading into a stock, not just pump and dumps. You know what I mean? Like
right,
people can tell you stuff all day, but it's like, do you know if a sector is hot? There's one thing that I use called sector tractor where they actually show you, like I use it like maybe like 15, 20 minutes after the market opens, and it'll show me like what sectors are hot in the market at the moment. And then also, what's declining. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna stay away from that today. I
right.
might get back, get into something later on. Or if I feel like something's going down, I'm gonna go look at the reason. I'm like, oh, it's just because the sector's down. People ain't talking about it. So I might buy a dip or two, just depending on. And all of that stuff plays a role into investing and trading. Another thing with investing, if you're investing long term, do not look at your portfolio every day. There's no
Right.
there's no, there's
There's
no
no
point in
point
that.
in
Like,
doing that. Like, it doesn't
like
matter. People, they like sell stuff because they like, yeah, I want to be a long term investor. But you looking at your charts every day, you looking at the stock price every single day. You like, dang, it's down. Like, look, Palantir, perfect example. Everybody
perfect
was
example.
everybody started getting a Palantir when it started blowing up. Then that jump dropped down to like 23, 20, $22. People would start selling. Now it's back to almost $30, and it's only been a month. So it's like if you were investing long term, you should have kept buying. Like I was buying the whole time, every day. 31 days of investing. Shout out to Hugo. I was buying Palantir every day, showing the timeline. Like, yep, buying more Palantir today, buying another share today. Like I didn't care what the price was, I was still buying because it's a long term hold for me.
Exactly. Like that's the same thing I did with Fuel Cell. When Fuel Cell was at $10, what was that, a week ago, a week and a half ago? I
Yep,
bought a whole
yo,
bunch of shares. I
look,
bought a
they
whole
up
bunch
to
of shares,
eighteen
and I was like,
dollars. I just
I
seen
was
the
like,
alert come through. They up to $18 right now. Robinhood
yep,
said they up to 18. I'm like, dang, they were just down to like what 13 a couple days ago.
yeah. But it's just like I kept telling people, I said, if it's a long term hold, stop selling for pennies. Like
Right.
it's only gonna go up. Like this is only January. You still got a long time to go where clean energy and all this stuff is going up. Like they're telling you, hey, this
This is
is where
what
we're
we're
putting
doing.
money at.
Yeah.
Like, why would you sit there and sell that? Like, so
I
you gotta sit there and look at certain things. Like, okay, like sometimes so if I have something in my long term portfolio, sometimes I might trade it in another account just because I know the short term it can do. So sometimes I'll do that. But in the long term, I'm not looking at that portfolio. I already know what's going on. I already know, like, bro, in 6 months when I look at this shit is gonna boom, and I'm gonna sit there and be like, I'm glad I never sold. You see what I'm saying? Like,
That's why, and that's the people thinking people don't get about day traders. Day trading, it look cool. It's like, yeah, I'm making all this money today, but look, even Roku, perfect example. Like JT, he trades Roku and all that, but like, even if he would have just had the shares the whole time, I'm sure he got Roku shares now. I'm sure he got them. But it's like the people who trade and never buy shares, like you're not seeing all the full gain from the stock that
mhm.
was Roku was $30. Now that jumped $300. Like you're not seeing those kind of gains. Same thing with Tesla. People trading the options every day. You're not always winning. You taking losses. You winning some versus the person who just bought Tesla and was like, all right, I'm about to just hold it. Like
Yep.
I've never traded Tesla ever. Like I just bought it and I held it and I end up selling like an idiot. But that's something else, man. I could have sworn the market was going to go down after Trump lost the election. I thought the market was going to drop. I ended up selling Tesla. I sold like everything, and I was like, dang. And I Tesla took off. I sold it at like 450. That mug was like $600 a couple weeks later. I'm like, dang, man, should have held it.
It be like that sometimes. There's plenty of plays like that. Like when I sit there and do my due diligence on certain things, and I'm like, okay, long term, this could be X amount of dollars. I'll buy
B,
some in
don't
my
be
long
saying
term
no wow.
portfolio.
B talking about wow. Yeah, I fucked up, but I still got Tesla in my M1 account, so I don't
I
care.
mean,
Watch me. I'm gonna get back into Tesla. I'm one of them. I'm waiting on the Tesla
I was
dip.
gonna let you live. I wasn't even gonna say that about that. I was like, ooh, she fucked up. But I
I
was like,
fucked up. I fucked up. I had Tesla pre-split everything. Like if I would have still had my Tesla to this day, my $3,500 investment would be 16,000 today. So I didn't have to do shit. Like just Tesla alone would have been worth more than my whole like Robinhood account right now. And I'm like,
yeah.
messed up.
See, a lot of people be fucking up because like when I tell people all the time, know what you hold.
Yeah,
Like if
I
you
did.
believe in that shit, but hold on to it. What you selling it for? And then,
Right.
because 9 times out of 10, you sell that shit, then the next day that shit pop off, and you be mad as fuck.
Oh,
You be like, why I did that shit?
look, that's what happened with fuel cell. Remember, but that's like, and that's the thing too. People don't understand when you messing with options. I was messing with the fuel cell options. I just saw the pumping dumpers talking about fuel cell, and I was like, all right, bet I'm gonna get into fuel cell. This jump about to run. So I bought fuel cell, and then it went down. Like I bought the options, it went down. I started losing money, and I'm like, forget it. I'm gonna get out. And then that's when fuel cell went crazy. Right after the
Mm-hmm.
break, the winter break, or not winter break,
Yep.
like Christmas, New Year's, it started going crazy. And I'm like, man, I would have been up like $1,000. All I had to do was hold it. But you gotta
It'd
know
be
what you're
like,
doing when you're playing with those options. People think it's sweet. Even with GameStop today, I had a GameStop call, $44 call. I bought it for $103. When it was at $70, that call was worth $3,000 in a day. $100 to $3,000 in a day. And I sold it because I got scared. I was like, man, I don't think it's gonna hit. I don't think it's gonna hit in a day. So I sold it. Like I gotta start just holding those options till the end. Like just hold them. Like
you know what? You also, and what I tell, like, you gotta, So what I've been doing now is like when I trade.
Mm,
So say if there's various ways of how I'm trading these days, but it all makes sense to me. So when it comes to like power hour, that's that 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock window
right.
where a lot of stuff goes crazy. I'll find something and I hold that overnight
Mm.
because I feel like, oh, this might gap up overnight. So I'm gonna just hold it, see what it do. Sometimes it's a 500, sometimes it's 1,000. If I feel real confident in that motherfucker, I'll put a whole 5 bands in there and be like, fuck it, like we gonna see what it
With
do.
the option?
Always no, 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 not
Oh, I'm about
options.
to say.
No, 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 no.
With the stop.
See, with just with the stock, just with the
Yeah.
share, because I'm like, if I can set a stop loss and I can, it's risk reward type
Uh-huh.
thing with me. But 9 times out of 10, I hit all the time, and that's just be like, something will go up like 50, 60%. I give you a perfect example, ADMP. I saw that rising up, and I was like, okay, I had some in one account, but I was like, let me just play one of these for like my overnight joint. And I got in like 125, and it ran all the way up to like 270 something, like just within like 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I sold this morning because whenever I do that, I'll sell in the pre-market like 9 o'clock.
You be
If
on
it's in
WeBull?
I do it on both. So I have one on WeBull and I have one because on WeBull you can start trading at 4.
Yeah.
So I'll have like a quick I'll have like a sell limit that I'll do. I'm like, all right, if it hit here, it'll hit at 4 in the morning or 5. So
And
I wake
sell
up,
it.
I'm good. Thing with Robinhood, you gotta wait till 9 o'clock. So
Right.
I always set stop losses. I always set sell limits, just because I'm not trying to get in the wreck. Like I'm trying to protect myself as quick as I can. Like nah. As long as that stop loss there, I'm good. I'm good to go. But yeah, I do stuff like that. So I wait for that because the market is super volatile after 9:30. That first 15 minutes, volatile as hell. Like
Crazy.
you don't know what the hell gonna happen. So when I'm out of positions at 9 something, 9:15, I'll wait around and be like, okay, like let's say if something ran up real crazy pre-market, usually around 10, 11 o'clock, it hovers down a little bit.
Hmm.
So then what I'll do, I'll look at the chart, be like, can this continue the uptrend? I'm like, if I feel like it does, then like I did with
Is that supposed to be
SQFT.
square? What's SQFT? What's that?
It was a stock that I got into that B got into, and B was up. But B ain't set no stop loss. And so B was up 20, 30%. That motherfucker woke up the next morning. That shit was down 50%.
Oh man.
Nigga was sick. Hey, you gotta set them stop losses. I'll be playing that shit. If I'm a day trade something real quick and I like what I see, I just throw whatever money whatever buying power I got at the moment and let it run up and see what happens. But always set that stop loss because man, I should have had people in a wreck. But yeah, I'll do stuff like that. I'll just I'll just be reading like the market, and then like around noon, people like going to lunch and shit, they chilling, people selling. So I'll be like, all right, maybe I'll get in something around lunchtime. Lunchtime dips. So that's the 3 ways that I kind of trade, just because based off of how the market acts, a lot of people like you can get into something and it'll start running up, and
Hmm.
then all of a sudden the sell off happens. You be stuck.
Look,
So
a firm sold off something serious. I was like, I'm not selling. I was like, I don't care. I'm not selling because I got in at 95. So I was like, I'm not selling. It ran up to 140. Then that joint was back to 105. I was like, I ain't selling. And it hit 120 today. So I'm just holding on because I think it's going to still have a big run up because I just think it's going to do good. So I'm not selling to at least probably 140. I'll probably sell about half this time. I'm not going to hold on to the whole thing. I'm going to sell about half 140 and then let the rest run after that. So you just gotta, yeah, you definitely gotta be more patient. And the thing about like stock trading is it's so many plays. Like it's so many
so
plays.
many.
There's so much money to be made. So if you try to jump from play to play to play to play, you gonna lose money. And that's what I started doing. I started being like impatient, trying to hop on trades. So you just gotta come up with your plan and figure out what you're gonna do and just run with that. Like don't worry about what else is going on because there's so many stock plays out here. Like so many stocks are going up. Like everything's volatile right now.
Yeah, you got to think you're not the only one in the market. I think a lot of people act like that, where it's just like, oh man, my stock tanking. Like, there's various reasons. Like, somebody might have 80,000 shares and they might just hit there like 2%. They're like, oh, I'm about to sell this because that's all I need. Or then there's somebody else with 50 shares and they're like, oh shit, like I want this to run up, run up, run up. And that's how you get caught. And it's like, you got to realize you're not the only one that's like trying to get this money from the stock.
Right.
So you gotta be a little patient. Shit might happen. And it's just like I said, as long as you got that stop loss, if you keep your risk management low, you should be good.
Right.
But
How much you risk on your stocks? Like if you buy a stock, how much you risk your loss? You risk 5%, 10%, 30%. What you do?
Hey man, my risk tolerance is super high. So I've been down 20% on the stock that I had about 30 grand in. But I like I said, I
That's your
read
risk
the chart.
tolerance. Yeah.
I read the chart and I was like, I know it's gonna reverse, and then it ended up like going to my way. It was just like shit happens. There's pullbacks. There's you know what I mean. Like it comes with the game.
Yeah, I
But I
learned for
won't do
sure if
that
it's
all the
good.
time though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
learned for sure. Like if it's good, I am not selling after it went down like 10% of the day. Like I refuse. Like even with a firm, that mug was down 20% in one day. I was like, I ain't selling it. I know it's gonna go back up. Now what today? Next day later, that shit went right back up. It's up at 120 last time I checked. So like you just gotta know. So what's the most money you made off a stock trade if you don't mind answering? But what's the most you made off one?
Oh shit. So this might have been recently. It was a day trade I was in that it was one of these Chinese IPOs.
Yeah.
This nigga stupid. Hey Beeps, I hate you. Hey I can't stand that motherfucker. So it's called WNW, and I got into it at 20, maybe $30.
Mm.
$30. It ran up to, I think that was 180 something.
What?
Yeah, and I think I put 10 grand in there. So
Oh.
you do the math, and and so that was one of those where I was a little nervous. So going into what happened? Going into like 315, 330, it was acting choppy.
Mm.
So it was hovering it. So it almost hit my stop loss, but it didn't. And then it hit like 52, and that shit went up to 89, and that shit kept going. And I was like, oh shit, like, damn, let me keep going. And then like, yeah, so I put 10,000 in at what was it, $30, and I sold half of it at I think it was 89.
Mm.
And then it kept going up in after hours. And so by time 9 a.m. hit, it had went down to like 102 and then it shot back up to like 190 something. And then that's what I sold. Yeah, so that was like the oh shit moment.
Right.
And then like
get out.
with Sundial, a couple months ago, Sundial I had like 40,000 shares at like 36 cents. And then that shit shot. I sold it at was it 90 something? So that was a good day too. Like that was like a quick day trade.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So if you have any questions you want to ask Rich, like now's the time to ask them. And somebody said I caught FOMO. I did. Sometimes I catch FOMO, but now I just try to stop. Yeah, unless if I'm catching FOMO at this point, like if I know something gonna have momentum, I try to make it an option trade. Because if it has a lot of momentum and everybody's trying to get in, you can make more money just trying to get an option quick in and out. Even though I'm not supposed to be day trading, but Robinhood will let you slide. They'll let you slide for sure. So I've been doing some day trades and shit like that. But what else? Anybody else ask any questions?
Hey, day trading fun as hell. I don't care what nobody says. Like when you see that money pile up, you be like, sheesh.
Yeah. I see. That's the thing, though. But I prefer swinging. Like I prefer trying to like, all right, I'll buy a stock and hopefully at least I hold it for a couple of days, versus like, all right, I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out. Yeah. So FOMO means fear of missing out. So it's basically like when everybody was talking about Tesla and people were just buying. They were scared that the stock was going to go up, or Bitcoin. Everybody started buying Bitcoin. So it just means like fear of missing out, right? So you think that it's going to go up, or even when it comes to like parties and stuff, it's FOMO. Like, oh, I don't want to miss this party. Like, I don't want to miss this event. Like, let me show up. That's called FOMO. Um, yeah, but make sure you Market View Consulting. Shout out to Bees and Josh over at Market View.
Somebody asked about taxes.
Texas.
Yes, there's tax on gains when you sell.
Yeah, yeah.
Also,
So all of this stuff, when it comes to stocks, it's called capital gains tax. Like you're paying taxes on all of this. Every time you make money, you don't pay taxes right then and there. You pay taxes at the tax time. So when it's tax time, that's when you pay your taxes.
I'm glad you said that. There's also capital gains when you sell precious metals too, for people who don't know.
Yeah, anytime you make money, it's taxes. That's how it works in America. They taxing us. Everything getting taxed. Somebody said, how do you know what stocks to trade?
Fam, you gotta look at mad information. There's no like one way. Like you can see, so on Twitter, like you'll
Uncle
see
Sam come for
50, 100 tickers flying around. I look at sectors. I think about what's coming up. So like biotech is real huge. Um, biotech is real huge. You got clean energy, which is real huge. Marijuana, hopefully in the next coming weeks, will be real. Like so, you look at things that's going on in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and then you narrow it down to certain stocks. So then that's when looking at charts, looking at their financials, looking at stuff like that, what might be upcoming catalysts. Then you look at stuff like that where it's like, okay, I can invest in this for short term, long term, but it's a lot of like you just gotta do research just like you do anything else because I'm in the market to make money. I'm not here to lose money. So I'm gonna do as much research as I can to make sure I maximize that.
Yeah, so the hot sectors, there's a lot of hot sectors. Like I said, I sent out an email about this. It's kind of like what's coming next in the future. So a lot of people are speculating like cannabis is going to be legalized soon because of Biden. So that's something big. A lot of like somebody just said the gaming industry. Well, I know for sure like sports betting and stuff like that. That's real hot because a lot of states are making it legal. EV, electric vehicles, that's hot. They're saying in 2030 we're getting rid of all gas vehicles. So that's going to be a huge shift, right? Um, there's a lot
That
of stuff
EV
like
market alone
AI.
is going boom. Like there's so many EV plays. I think what is it? Chamath announced that he was putting money, investing like all this money into I think the stock was
Chamath.
C- CLI. It
You
says it's supposed to be a SPAC that's supposed to be joining was
Lucid
this
Motors.
EV? Yeah, something like that. But like that shit crazy. Like there's so many. It's gonna that EV market about to boom because a lot of these states, New York, California, they want to be clean energy and electric vehicles by what is that 2035?
Yeah, yeah.
So
They're like it's not a game. Like they're really trying to
yeah,
get gas vehicles out of the paint. Like they're
we
trying
trying to
to
get them.
get rid of all of that.
Yeah, nah, that's real.
um,
So yeah, so just to piggyback, like just look at you just gotta be aware of what's going on in the world. That's how you make money.
Yep. Yeah.
There's
Just
no
pay
luck.
attention. Pay
Just
attention
pay
to what's
attention.
going on. Like if you see a lot of people buying something like for long term holding or even sometimes quick trades, like if you see a lot of stuff happening, like with even this past New Year's Eve, I was in Party City and I'm like, yo, Party City is jumping. It's like 50 people in here, like all these people trying to get these parties going for New Year's Eve and stuff. Next thing you know, Party City stock went crazy. Not even a week later, like right after the market opened, right after New Year's, Party City stock hit all-time highs. Like stuff like that. If you notice certain things, like a lot of people buying stuff or a lot of stuff that people are using, you're using, you might want to look at the stock and you might be able to make money off of it. And even stuff that's happening in like just everyday life. Like, so if there's an announcement that a company is buying another company, most likely the stock's going to go up.
Oh, that's a fact, especially on like merger things
Yeah,
and buyouts and like the reason GameStop boomed. So I don't know what happened just now. I think that was
that was
just
a short squeeze. It was a
yeah.
short squeeze, the craziest squeeze ever.
But the reason it went up the other day was because they got their financials back from they announced their financials and then they got like I think like a loan or something. They got some. They got some money coming in, and then they got money from all those PS5s and Xboxes and games, and it's just like shit, boom. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like stuff like that, where it's like, the littlest thing could, especially in this market. I don't know how long it will last, but especially in this market where the littlest catalyst, the smallest catalyst, will have that shit going up like 100%. You'd be like, what the hell?
Yeah, yeah.
But
Even like Beeves, he just said Wall Street bets. So Wall Street bets, like I wouldn't follow their trades per se. Like every time they like, yo, something about to do this. But like Wall Street bets, what happened, like I said, what happened with GameStop was a short squeeze. Like big companies took out short positions because all those people in Wall Street bets saying that they were getting calls. So Citron Research, like that's a huge hedge fund, and they mainly short. They're like, yeah, we're taking a short position out on GameStop. They even went live. They're like, we're gonna do a live stream explaining what we're doing. They got squeezed like shit. When they said
yeah,
they were shorting, it was $30. GameStop hit 70 today. So they got destroyed on that GameStop short today. Like I'm pretty sure they had to cover. Like I'm pretty sure if it went more than double the opposite way. So
yeah,
that's a crazy squeeze, but they weren't the only ones saying that. I saw so many people on the timeline saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm about to short GameStop. GameStop going down." It was a short squeeze. So like when you short, you have to borrow the shares. Like you're shorting, you're selling it, and then you have to buy back. So if you shorted at 30, the only way to cover your short is to buy back. And then from what I heard, there weren't enough shares for all those people who shorted to cover their shorts. So that it caused a crazy squeeze. Like, so every time, so if you shorted at 30 and you see that mug at 50 and you're like, yo, let me get out of this short, they have to buy right there. So it just caused the stock going up. It kept it going up and up and up. Um,
that's a long day at the office. God damn.
Long day,
I
real
hate to
long
be that
day.
motherfucker and be like, yo, so why'd you do this again? It's like, bruh.
They getting spanked, and that's the thing that people aren't realizing. They're like, they're trying to attack what they call the retail trader. I mean, they really are retail traders, right? They're trying to
Mm-hmm.
attack them. They're like, these kids don't know what they're doing. They just out here throwing money, going all in, which they are. A lot of people in Wall Street bets are literally, they call it, I'm going to YOLO. I'm going to put my whole account on one trade, and they be doing that. But sometimes it actually works out for them. They're like, we're gonna go against Wall Street bets. We're like, they know that these kids don't know what they're talking about, and they've been like a lot of the big institutions have been getting spanked by those Wall Street bets kids. Like even with GameStop, you gotta imagine crazy money they making off of this. Like so you guys got to be aware of it. But some people who like, let's say some people got calls when GameStop was like $60, they're down because the stock went down to like 50, so or 70 when
It's another thing that I don't think people take into account is that a lot of like you see a lot of trading groups these days on Discord and stuff like
mm-hmm.
that. Them motherfuckers got influence.
They
So if they
do.
like, yo, we got to buy this stock. Some I seen some Discords with like 200,000 people in there. That's a lot. That's a lot of incoming buys right there. Like,
Yeah, you
everything
gotta
you can
watch
do
out for the
about it.
pump and dumps. People, that's why like,
Yeah,
people try to pay with the penny stocks. Like, shout out to Eli. Like he be messing with those penny stocks, and I'll be like, I can't mess with that because half of them, not even half, most of them shits is pump and dumps. Like, and if you get caught on the wrong side, they're like, yo, we about to buy this stock, or they announce after they already bought it, like, yeah, this is the stock I'm buying. They're just dumping their shares on you, so you can lose all your money so fast.
it's quick, and you won't even know it. That should have go up 1 second. You be up, man. 2 seconds later, you down 5%. You like, what the fuck just happens? Because
Shit.
everybody just sold off at the same damn time.
Yeah, more than 5%. Like I'll never forget. Me and Eli, we was up big on this one penny stock. Like that's when I was first trying it. I was trying it out with him. He's like, yeah, this gonna be good. So we was doing good. We were up like I think maybe 100% or something like that. Next thing you know, the weekend came, held that mug over the weekend. We was down like 60%. I'm like, yo, what's going on? It never came
Hell
back.
no.
I just had to sell for a loss. I'm like, man,
Hell
it
no.
never came back. And he still talking about it to this day. Like he's like, yeah, I was up big. I didn't sell. I was up not as much as him. I didn't put that much in, but I was like, I lost 60% of my money.
So when I play the penny stocks, I only put I play some with $100 and I'll play some with $1,000. That's it. I've seen people. I know you've seen people go in like 20 grand. I'm not
Bro.
studying a penny stock like that. I'm just like,
They
yo,
don't even be studying. I'm telling you, it's pumping dumps. Like I be seeing people, they like, yeah, I put 50K into this penny stock. I'm like, and all they do is talk about it all day, every day. They're like, yeah, this stock's gonna do good. This stock's gonna do good. Like in the penny stock game, they will make up articles. They'll make up fake articles. They'll fake emails, all kinds of stuff. Like it's a crazy game right there.
that's how
Like
they that's how they be doing it on Reddit. A lot of people get on Reddit, read that shit, and then that shit will go up, and that going down is even harder. You'd be like, what the fuck? But yeah, I don't too much mess with them shits. It's like only a select few that I'll get into because I think there'll be something in a year or two. But like that's like real, and I don't even talk about them.
uh,
I get OTC plays from Alexis. Alexis be hitting. I be like, what
I
the
don't know
fuck?
how she do it. She got the magic touch, but her don't. She really do research on the companies, and they don't
Yeah,
ever get like pump like a pump and dump. It's like
nah.
good research.
Like she be like, yo, I'm just gonna hold these, and so everything she sent, like she'll text me something, I look at it, I just go right to buy, cause like everything she done sent me in the past week done hit, and it's like two of them that I didn't get into, and I was like, all right, that's fine. I was like, let me just throw $100 in there, see what it do, cause it ain't, you know what I mean? Like it's just like we'll just wait and see, cause I'm not looking to actively trade it. I'm just gonna
Right.
let it sit
Just let it sit.
and, see what
Somebody
happens.
asked how does mergers work? Sorry to cut you off. How do mergers work? Like when SPACs merge or company merge, stuff like that.
Uh, they combine.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know how to.
basically, I explain it. So, I think this is her at. I got Alexis. I had a Finance Friday with her too. Just check out my Instagram TV and you'll see her on there. But like basically, a merger is yeah they combine. So it's like two companies. You got company A, company B. They merge together, make one company. Like or company A is going to say like, all right, we buying company B. So like they just absorb that company. Google does it all the time. A lot of companies do it all the time. So they doing big, they merge, they buy. And then like who is this? So Salone, he said the GameStop squeeze today ain't even the ultimate squeeze. We headed to $100.
Boy,
Uh are you on Wall Street bets? You a Wall Street bets user?
ah!
You be on Wall Street bets, huh? You gotta be.
Oh, merger as far as stock price. Okay, Max, because I just thought you was like, what is a merger? And I was just like, merged together. So I didn't know what you was asking. Usually the price goes up. Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
usually.
yeah, usually the price goes up.
Hakeem said Wall Street bets, member. Yeah, Wall Street bets, y'all go hard. Y'all will literally they be like, yo, I put my whole 40K into this option that expires on Friday. It's Monday. This joint expires Friday. I put 40K in it. They're like, I went
But you know
all
what?
in.
You know what I've realized over time. Those dudes, that 40,000 to them is like 400 to some people. I mean, it's like 400 to them because they've been doing that shit for so long. Like I've seen, and a lot of them go all in on a bet. They pump it up, and then they get the fuck out, and that's how I go. So when people see that stuff, they're like, "Oh man, how did he know?" It's like, bro, that nigga got like 3 million in the whatchamacallit. That 40,000 wasn't gonna hurt him. Like he's chilling. Like
Oh, it's a
yeah,
lot
there's
of
a
whales
exactly
in
the
Wall
thing.
Street bets.
It's a lot of whales in there. This dude's in there playing with 10, 20 million. That 40,000.
And they Robinhood account only showing one thing. They like, yeah, I
Yeah,
put
yo,
40 in. Whole
yeah,
time they
you
got
gotta.
another account with like millions in it.
That's how it be, yo. When you start figuring that shit out, you like, oh, okay, like I see why you're pumping this like this. Hey, clove up,
Look,
clove
look,
up.
Clove. I had to get out of Clove. I was like, man, I
I
ain't
got
got
I got
time for
too I got
Clove.
I got too many shares in clove to not to no. I was not getting out of that shit. Where we at?
Yo, is
But I
GameStop
got
at
it.
65?
It's back at 65.
I think somebody said that. If it's at 65, I'm losing money because I could have sworn that mother was going back down.
It did. When I last looked at it before we got on, it was in the 50s.
You're right. I don't know. I gotta check. I don't know. This stuff crazy. But is there anything else you want to talk about before we get off?
Oh no, I'm just kicking it at this point. If you want to learn, I got an email sign up for the precious metal stuff out. Like I think I'm gonna send a new email probably this what's today, Friday? Probably this Sunday or Monday.
Yeah, so
Um,
Rich has a oh, sorry about that. Rich has a he has an email list where he sends out emails about his precious metals. Anything you want to say about Pinterest? You don't want to promote none. Rich gets so much money. He said, I do not care about my businesses, my email list, none of that. No Rich Zoom Fridays, nothing. I don't care. Like I'm just here. I'm just kicking the shit. I don't care. Rich, I don't
listen,
care. You don't. Nah, I don't got nothing to talk about.
when you got shit on autopilot, yo, this is what I worked hard for. Like I was talking about this the other day. I think I was texting Malik. And
Yeah.
I showed Malik my website numbers. He was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Bruh, I don't do anything on there no more. It's like it's automatic now. It's just like
Through
I
Pinterest,
think."
or how you get it automatic? Like what you mean?
So what I did was when I started doing SEO and stuff like that, I got real heavy into that.
Uh huh.
So like my website is just SEO'd up, and then you're stupid, Ethan. And then for the Pinterest, I've been doing that for 3 years. So at this point, all that content, all that old content, just gets circulated over and over and over again. And so at this point, I don't, yeah, like I should be better with promoting my stuff, but
You don't
I just
care. You
I
got
just
too
be
much
chilling,
money.
man.
You got too
Nah,
much
no,
money coming
that
in.
is
You
not
don't even
that
care.
is not that is not what it is. No, no, no.
Yeah.
I
So
am
wait, let's talk about Pinterest real quick. Just let people know what you do on Pinterest. People have to know. You gotta at least let them know
yeah,
what
I
you're
tell them.
doing.
So on Pinterest is a like a picture based platform. I'm sure a lot of us have used it over the years. What I did was re-engineer to where everything that I posted goes back to my website. And so that I was blogging for a year straight. I was blogging for a year straight, like maybe two, 3 times a week. And so we're talking about 60, 70, 80, possibly 90 blogs. And so having a photography background, I had so many pictures, I just didn't know what to do with them. Stop, he's stupid. He right though. but and so what I did was honestly it was very simple. I got on Google, and
Mm.
I was like, how do I use Pinterest for my business? This blog came up, and then what I did was I did exactly what they said, and then I enhanced it. I was like, well, I have so much content. I was like, let me try this. Let me just use my pictures. Let me just use my prints and stuff like that. And so I put that on there, and then as time went on, my SEO started going up, and then all these websites have different versions of SEO. So my Pinterest SEO was up because everything was. I had so much content on there.
Right.
It was just like you have to see it. And so what I did was it got to a point where I was getting like 1 million views a year just off of blogging and stuff like that, and then putting it on Pinterest. But and so what I did was I started putting like my products in my blogs. I started um, pushing people to my products and my email list. And so my stuff just started building up literally off of just Pinterest.
Right.
And at this point now, it's like I don't really do anything on there anymore, but
Right.
I do it for, I have clients. So now I try to replicate that process in some way with clients. A lot of what I do now is like I'll do Pinterest management, I'll do like a VIP day, and all of that is you can go to my bio on Twitter and click on the link, and it will bring you to my Pinterest website as far as like services go. But I also have like freebies where I show people exactly what I did, how to replicate that process. But at the end of the day, it's just on you to create content, never stop creating content. But and the reason I was so successful at it is because for like 2 years straight when I was up here, I was just creating all the time because I was like, I want to be seen on the internet. I knew people in real life, but it was like, you were trying to get that e-commerce money, and I was new to that.
Hmm.
And so that's pretty much what it was. So I just used a social media platform to catapult my website and my personal brand and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Pinterest is so powerful, man. Pinterest is super powerful. It's like when it comes to search engines, it's Pinterest, YouTube, Google. That's it.
Yeah.
Like people don't realize, like people be like, oh, I'm trying to go viral on Twitter. That lasts for like 48 hours. So you
Yep.
better have your tweet under there. Like if you see a tweet going viral, put your promotion tweet underneath it within like the first 5 hours, because you got like a 48-hour run, unless it goes like super super viral to where it's like on Instagram, Facebook, all over the place. Like so people don't realize Twitter viralness, it does not last long. It's like it spurts and that's it. Nobody really cares. Nobody's gonna follow you. They'll purchase what's underneath. But when it comes to Pinterest, that lasts forever. It's like it's similar to YouTube. Like somebody's always going to be looking for like whatever Rich does, like photography or whatever. Like people, they always going to be looking for that. So when they search online, his stuff's going to come up on Google. His stuff's going to come up
Mm-hmm.
on Pinterest. On Twitter, you can barely find a tweet from last week. So
That's a fact.
like it does not work like that. Twitter is not built like that. It's not that type of social media network where it's like for searching. Like it's not a search engine. It's like you see tweets and that's really it. Like it's live tweeting basically. It's what's in
Yeah,
right now.
it has the shelf life on Twitter doesn't last that long. Same with Instagram and almost the same with Facebook. Facebook, you gotta spend mad money just to get seen on certain things. Pinterest is still at this point number one as far as like shelf life as far as your content goes.
Right.
And so I was starting on that 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at what 2021 now. That's a whole 4 years of just like pumping out content, pumping out content. So now it's like I can sit back and I can work on other things. But what I do now is I have them just go to my email list. That's all it is. It's about building your email list and having your direct audience, keeping in contact with them.
Right.
Yeah, be right. Twitter and Facebook just in the moment type stuff.
Yeah. It's all in the moment. So you gotta tap in right then and there. So it's just completely different. So I just wanted you to be able to talk about the Pinterest stuff because it's really powerful and people need to know. So Rich is doing stocks, precious metals, and Pinterest. So you need your Pinterest
Yeah,
hit up, Rich.
yeah. If you wanna, so like I said, if you wanna go view anything Pinterest related, like as far as the book goes, if you wanna just check out services or freebies, what he say? My
I'm
Twitter
typing
is
it.
Rich Point of View.
Rich point of view. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and so yeah, all of this stuff like it's a sign up on my bio. You can go there. You can also, if you want to do like, if you want to sign up for the Full Metal Capitalist, which is like the brand I do with the precious metals. I'm eventually gonna have a YouTube where, like I said, where pretty much I would be educating people through video. I won't be showing myself, but but I'll show like a couple of coins. I'll show some bars, but just like it's more educational and stuff like that, where it's like a cool spot where you can just talk about precious metals all day. So it'll be like 20, 30-minute video. I mean, 10 to 15-minute videos where I just talk about, stuff that's going on, what is driving the price up, what's driving it down, just keeping people informed that look like us. Because it's not a lot of people, like everybody that I learned from was a white person. Nothing wrong with it, but it's like it's a space for us to educate ourselves on precious metals. And so that's why I came up with the brand and just to have fun with it. So yeah, go to those two places and yeah, catch me on the timeline, follow if you aren't already, chop it up. I'm not hard to speak to, just don't ask me no dumb shit. There's people, somebody DM'd me the other day and was like, yo, can I get some money for a student loan? And I was just like, fam, this is not where we're at now.
Right.
I don't know how you got that from those vibes from me, but that's not happening.
Yeah. It's a lot of people right now that's asking for money in the DMs. That's why I had to close my DMs. I had too many people asking me for money. So yeah, it's just wild right now. So yeah, thank you for coming out, Rich. This is another episode of Finance Fridays. Follow Rich on Twitter, Rich Point of View. Check out his blog. Check out his email list, everything like that. And if you want to become financially literate and you want to just get your financial knowledge up, check out my book, Financial Starter Kit. It's in my bio, and you can purchase it on Amazon. So yeah, thank you for coming out for another episode. I'll see y'all next week.
Thanks for having me again.
All right. Yeah, you're welcome. See ya.